Howdy, Professor Williams. My name is Jackson Weethorn, and this is my submission for the Ethics in Sports assignment. Really quick, I hope the camera angle is okay. I know it's a little bit off. I've got my laptop pulled up right behind the camera with a couple of notes and a couple of things I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope that's okay. But anyway, the ethical dilemma that I chose to identify is the ethics behind recruiting within high school sports, specifically within boys basketball. This is an issue that I noticed probably 6 months ago or so. I've got 3 younger siblings who are all homeschool and participate in a homeschool team or homeschool group called Texas WIND. They are an organization that allows local homeschool kids from Waco to be able to participate in organized sports. They participate in a league called TEO, or it's also known as Texas Association of Independent Athletic Organizations. This is a league that allows this homeschool team, Texas WIND, to play against other homeschool groups, against other smaller high schools, against private schools. So it's a really cool opportunity for them. Something that I noticed, like I said, within the past 6 months or so, is that the boys basketball team got beat pretty handedly at state. And this is a boys basketball team that has been pretty good for the past few years. I think last year they were undefeated. And I noticed that the team that beat them was comprised of players that were 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and that the Texas WIND boys team had one guy who's 6'3", 6'4", and the rest of the players are pretty average height. And the other team that beat them also had some pretty average players as well. But the contrast between the tallest guy and the shortest guy, I mean, it was a foot or more. And it was a really big advantage for the other team. And come to find out that they've been winning for the past few years with a similar roster, that every year they come to state, they've got that same dudes who are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and it's proven to be a real issue in the fairness of competition. And obviously, my first reaction to this is, life isn't always fair. Sometimes you play, bigger guys, faster guys, stronger guys. It is what it is. We've seen historic NBA greats who are, Isaiah Thomas, Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, who are all shorter than 6 foot, competing at the highest of levels. But height definitely plays an advantage in basketball, and it is proven to be that way in the state tournament year after year. And so this is kind of an issue that I identified is the fairness in this competition. That I looked into the bylaws of the TEO League. I've got them pulled up, and they leave it a little bit ambiguous as to whether or not you can, try to seek out transfers or recruits. It definitely seems discouraged, but it's a little bit ambiguous as to whether or not it's prohibited or not. I know in other leagues, such as TCAL, I looked through their bylaws as well, and it is prohibited that there's any sort of recruitment with financial incentive. And from what I can tell, this team that's been winning state year after year has been recruiting players, foreign players, as well as players, in and around Texas who, maybe aren't here, but will move here because they're offering scholarships. And that's a big reason why these players are coming to this team and playing for this team, is that they've gotten free school. And so this has become a pretty major issue, at least just in this TEO division, that this team has been winning pretty handily every year because they come in with the biggest, tallest, lankiest guys every year. And I mean, it's one of those things. I think there's tricky solutions to this, because ultimately, according to the TEO bylaws, it's not necessarily against the rules. It's definitely discouraged, but it's not necessarily against the rules. And so it's one of those things where I know that Texas WIND, their organization, has been, writing TEO and appealing TEO, trying to say, hey, man, like, can we get y'all to look into these teams a little bit more? Not just that team, but all the teams of, hey, can we look at this from a fairness standpoint? And can we look at the recruiting and, should this be allowed? And ultimately, they're not really getting anywhere with TEO. And so ultimately, that kind of leaves them in a hard situation. I know that it's kind of hard for homeschool teams to be able to find their league or find their place. But I think at this point, the only real solution is for Texas Wind to leave this organization, to leave this league, unless there's going to be fair competition. I know that maybe the solution is something in classifying homeschool teams differently, or classifying the teams that are recruiting differently, so that they are maybe playing more fair competition, maybe competition that also is recruiting at a similar scale. But ultimately, it's kind of a tough situation to be in, and I think this is kind of rampant throughout high school sports, and as well now in college, as we're seeing NIL deals and players getting paid, and what that looks like for the fairness of competition. And so anyway, I think it's something for further discussion, and for us to look at more just as a whole, is what does that look like? What is the outcome of that in, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? And so ultimately, that was kind of all I had to say. I just wanted to identify that, talk about that a little bit, maybe a couple solutions that they could, a group like Texas Wind or a group like Teo could do to address the situation. But anyway, thank you for your time. Have a good rest of your night.